observing human nature over the decades, I came up with this term, the artisanal effect, which is a technology comes along, and what it does is it makes something cheap and available. People get so tired of that they want to make it exclusive and expensive. Look at cell phones, right? Technology said you don't need to write letters anymore. You can just pick up a phone call and call somebody, right? There's companies that came along, like Vertu, that said, okay, cell phones are too cheap. They're too available. Let's make them expensive and exclusive and dip them in gold and make these, $5,000 cell phones, right? I'm seeing this currently play out with keyboards. Over time, they became extremely cheap, like $10 or something. And now people got so tired of cheap keyboards, they're making them custom. They're buying, mechanical keypads, and they want to get custom Etsy, handcrafted, sculpted statues. Have you seen those? Where like the escape key is like an actual panda toy.
I have not.
Please
show a little picture.
Yeah, so now like keyboards got so good, so cheap, people got tired of them. Now they want to make them expensive and exclusive. And they want to go online and stunt who's got the craziest ortholinear keyboard with the most, unique custom graphic mechanical keys. So I think the same thing is going to happen with DALL-E. Humans have this natural tendency to want to be human, and they reject things when they get too available. How many times have you listened to an artist and then he blows up and then all of a sudden it's not cool to listen to him, and people turn their back on their favorite artist because he got too big, he sold out. It's not that they got too big. You no longer can feel that exclusivity saying, yo, I found him. Check this guy out. That social currency you get when you introduce somebody is gone, right? Because he's mainstream. Well, I think the same thing is going to happen with DALL-E, which leads me to my other point. I was in a Clubhouse, like a GPT-3-based Clubhouse conversation with some interesting people. And one of the things I said, which I don't think was received too well, but I firmly believe that this is definitely the case. In the future, if AI art and creation becomes so abundant, people are going to reject it. They're going to get so tired of industrialized, mass-produced, perfect, photorealistic art that they're going to start valuing the imperfect, human-made art. I predict that in the future, there's going to be some sort of a mechanism or a tool that is going to validate that something was non-AI created. Almost like an NFT, a badge of honor to say, I own this painting, zero AI was involved in the process. No GPT-3 was involved, no DALL-E. Or whether it's a novel, right? I think people are going to crave human. Why do you think people are listening to vinyl records in 2022? Everything's on Spotify. Music got so cheap that now people all of a sudden want to go back. They want to buy record players. They want to get these vinyls, which if you move the needle, will scratch and permanently damage it, right? They don't care. They go out of their way. They want that experience because they got tired. We got spoiled. Music got so good, so cheap, so easy, so accessible that we want to make it harder, exclusive, expensive. And that's what humans do. So I think in the future, people are going to reject AI creations altogether. They're always going to have a purpose, right? There might be even the majority of the consumption might be AI, but there's going to be a niche of people who are willing to spend big bucks on human-made art. That's my prediction.
That's so fascinating. Maybe the price of human art goes even higher.
100%. No, it will. Artisanal, I think, is a term referred to crafted by an artist or somebody like a specialty, right? Artisanal bread or artisanal coffee, artisanal beer is, you might not get a Heineken from the store. You might get something that's brewed locally from your nearest brewery with, fermented squirrel nuts. People want that. People always crave that exclusivity. And I think it's going to be a natural societal rejection to DALL-E. When everything looks good, everybody goes right. Some people want to go left. And I think that's going to be the case with DALL-E as well.
We're gonna go back to that. I want this to be human. It's like people are gonna select. Yeah. I don't want any form of AI in this. Like imagine the future of commissions.
Actually, there's another tool I saw called Midjourney, which I've been working on for the past week that I haven't been able to put out. Midjourney is a DALL-E competitor, except it's darker. It creates dark art. If DALL-E's PG-13, Midjourney is like R-rated. There's like hellscapes, demons. It's awesome. First thought was like, I want to print these out at my studio and I want to have this AI generated artwork. And I think that's dope because it's generated by AI. I think in 10 years, people are going to want the opposite. They're gonna show off like, yo, see this? This from somebody in Mongolia who drew this with, pig blood on a canvas made out of cotton from Everest, and that's gonna be a flex. Not yet, but it will be. It will be, for sure, for sure.
That's fascinating.
So yeah, I think some sort of like human validation tool or NFT in the future is gonna have a lot of social value. And we're gonna need it, man, because if you're an artist, right, you know how Kanye has like 10 ghostwriters in the studio. Everybody's contributing lines. Drake got knocked for having ghostwriters. So a lot of people, when they talk about the top 5, there's an argument. You got to take Drake and Kanye out of that equation just by the virtue of the fact that they don't write 100% of their lyrics. You can't have them, right, because they're like cheating in a way, right? I think the same might go for novels. If I'm reading a novel, I might want to know that it was 100% written by humans with zero GPT-3 help, right? Or paintings. So I don't see why not. I don't see it as much of a stretch.
I guess my biggest fear with that would be how do you prove attribution?